Remember how in my impressions video I said this is the most interesting of the bunch? Well, I've been using the Camon 19 Pro 4G for about a week now. Sorry, I couldn't tell you. I've been testing it out and have compiled my thoughts into this video. Now, I still think this is the phone to get in the Camon 19 series because the Pro 5G isn't dramatically better. Yes, it has 5G and a better chipset, but that's about it. Taking a quick look inside the box, you notice we get all accessories. The warranty card, silicone case, a 33-watt charging brick, and a compartment that hosts the USB A to C cable, wired earphones, and the SIM ejector pin. There's no paperwork included, and that's kind of sad because I know for a fact that we all love to read the instruction manual. It won't be missed. Now, one of the main highlights of this phone is its design. It actually even won an award. So I guess we have to spend a bit of time talking about it. Mine comes in the Echo Black color. There's also the Polar Blue color and reportedly a Mondrian color. The back looks stealth, which I like, but I think I'll actually prefer the Polar Blue color because it has this nice rainbow effect. We've got two circular camera bumps, Tecno calls them camera rings, and it gives a sort of unique look. It looks like the GigaChat version of the Spark 9T. I actually dig the rings. My only gripe is that dust kind of settles around the ring and it's kind of hard to clean, especially at the point where the two rings meet. It's a matte finish on the back and has a sort of sparkling effect to it. Apparently there's a diamond coating of 200 million stars. So it's shimmery, and because it's matte, it does a really good job of hiding fingerprint marks. So it would look good most of the time, but the frame wouldn't because that's made with a glossy finish. The back end frame is made of plastic, which is less likely to shatter. It's got flat sides as well, which is in line with 2022 standards. And as far as size goes, I wouldn't describe this phone as big, but more like tall, if that makes any sense. It kind of looks like we've got two speakers on here, but I only found that the bottom one was the only one working. It's a really good speaker though. At the bottom, you find the headphone jack, one of two mics, the Type-C port, and the speaker. At the top is where you find the second microphone. To the left is the SIM and SD card slot. Yes, you can have two SIMs and a micro SD card. This unit comes with 256 gigabytes of storage, so I'm not sure I'll be needing that. And on the right, we have the tried and tested fingerprint reader / power button combo. I think it's a well-designed phone and feels solid in the hand. I dare to say it has a very premium build. The display has really slim bezels at 0.98 millimeters, but that's just for the side bezels. The bezels at the top are also really slim, but that bottom chin seems to have escaped the thinning process. I think with the hole punch cut out, the front of the phone still turned out okay. Would still love to see a Tecno phone with perfectly symmetrical bezels though. Maybe next year. Bezels aren't exactly what determines whether or not you buy a phone, so maybe I'm just nitpicking. But as far as the display goes, it's 6.8 inches, it's a 1080p display, it's also a 120Hz display, but it's LCD. And I know for a fact you're thinking it as well. Why? Especially because the Camon 18 Premier had an AMOLED display. And I believe the Pro 5G as well doesn't have an AMOLED display. Strange choice. Now, if we were to look past the absence of an AMOLED display, most people would actually not mind it. And that's because it's an okay screen. I kid you not, when I first unboxed this phone, initially I was like, wait, is this AMOLED? Partly because I was expecting AMOLED and also because it wasn't a bad looking screen. Like if I showed this to an average user and asked what they thought of it, they're definitely going to say, yeah, it looks good. So although this doesn't have AMOLED or HDR10 or a really thin bottom chin, you're still going to enjoy watching content on here. At least I did. On YouTube, you can watch videos up to 1440p, and generally I thought colors and sharpness looked nice. 120Hz a year or two ago was such a big deal, and it definitely still is, but I tend to just rush past it in my videos, so we're going to do something different today. I just want to give a quick shout out to how smooth this phone felt. That's it. Oh, and it gets a decent amount of brightness, so pretty usable outdoors. It's a decent display, but when compared to the 18 Premier, we do lose AMOLED, so... The software situation is much better now. It comes out of the box with Android 12 and Tecno's iOS 8.6. And the Camon 19s are set to get Android 13 pretty early as well, so I think that's pretty cool. Although 3 years of major OS updates would have been preferred, this is definitely a welcome improvement. As far as the UI goes, it's smooth, not very different. There are widgets, some visual changes, some privacy features too. Ella, the voice assistant, she does basic tasks well, so if you're into that, that's here. iOS is basically still iOS, which could be a good thing, but also isn't because of the level of bloatware. Yes, we still have tons of bloatware, and worse, they keep sending notifications, sometimes explicit ones. But of course you can disable them, so not all that bad, I guess. That's about it for software. It's no material new, but the changes are most definitely welcomed, and Android 13 is coming. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. Hi, this is Future Yugasin. I'm the same guy in the video. Anyway, I'm racing fencing from Gadgetsu to 15,000 subscribers, and I need your help. You see, the only way I can win is if you hit that subscribe button, like literally. I'm currently losing now, so I really do need your help. But of course, you only have to do this if you're enjoying the video. Now back to the video. This is one of the reasons I said this is the phone to get in the Camon 19 series. It legit has the best camera setup, a 64 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel telephoto, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. You'll notice that these are really big camera modules, which actually is a good thing. The main camera is the first 64 megapixel RGBW lens. There's also a G+P technology in place, which replaces a plastic lens with a crystal glass lens. That translates to brighter images by more than 200%. Now, this is the same 64 megapixel sensor and the Pro 5G, but what makes this a bit different is the 50 megapixel 2x telephoto lens. So portrait mode here uses that sensor, and frankly, I really loved the results. The main camera looks incredible when you give it good lighting. If you're outside and you pull this phone out, you will be impressed, no doubt. From HDR to saturation to detail to dynamic range, just so good to look at. Everyone that saw the images really liked it. This shot was taken indoors, so not exactly perfect lighting, but take a look at the picture. Another thing I really liked was how the telephoto and main sensor matched in terms of color and even level of detail. Night mode as well is present here, and this is where that main camera we talked about earlier should shine, and it does. But night mode with the telephoto lens seems too bright and over-processed to the point where I actually stopped liking it. But what I did notice was that regular portrait mode at night with that 2x telephoto turned out really nice. The portrait mode is definitely my favorite mode to shoot with. It does a really good job of mimicking traditional DSLR or mirrorless cameras. There's some other cool effects you get, like the sky replacement feature, also some with portrait modes, and even after taking the picture, there are some cool filters you can add to spice it up. I really like the light leaks ones. Then there's the selfie camera. It's 32 megapixels, and my guess is it's the same sensors on the Spark 9 series, but basically they're quite good. Video is also impressive, especially on that 50 megapixel telephoto. I was impressed. Are you? It can shoot up to 2K in resolution, but for video stabilization, you have to drop down to 1080p for both the rear and front-facing cameras. Performance is not as interesting because this spots the same chipset as last year's Camon 18 Premier. Now, on one side, I'm like, why the repetition? And that they should have given us a newer chip. But then on the other side, I'm like, well, the G96 is a pretty good chip actually. And to be fair, the vast majority of people Just want a fast enough phone for multitasking, playing games, performing tasks smoothly, so no hanging or significant delays when opening apps, and all that. And the G96 can handle all of that. But if you belong to the other group of people who need more power or want to do more on their phone, perhaps some heavy gaming, then this would be disappointing. You would be able to play all your favorite games though, but as you probably know, not at the best of settings. If you want more power, there's the Pro 5G, which comes with the Dimensity 810 chip, or if you want the best chip in a Tecno phone, check out the Power 5G. Here are the benchmarks for, any interested. Battery life overall stays the same every year, except for faster charging. This comes with a 5000 mAh battery and a 33 watt quick charger in the box, which took me an hour and 30 minutes-ish to fully charge. Battery life depends really on your usage, but for the most part, it should last you an entire day. I know, pretty boring. The Camon 19 Pro costs $280. I still don't know the exact price in Naira, but as soon as I do get the official price, I will leave it pinned in the comments. But if I had to guess, I'll say somewhere between 165k to 180k. And at that price point, the G96 seems to be the chosen chipset, but some of the competition still brings 5G or a 5G chipset and still an AMOLED display. So this lacks those two, and that could be a serious matter to you, or it could not. But either way, that leaves you with a stunning design, arguably best-in-class cameras, Android 12 and 13, and a big battery. I do think if you have the Camon 18 Premier, unless you really want those new sensors, then I don't see a need for you to upgrade. But if you're coming from something older, then this would feel next level. And if it's around 165k, then it could make a little bit of sense as to why we don't have AMOLED, because that's cheaper than the Camon 18 Premier's launch price. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.